Hey gang, so we had a person on the stream today asking some questions about managing UMG widgets, setting text, and persisting changes. And it gave me an idea, once I learned a little bit more about the specific use case, gave me the idea to build not a simple implementation of what I think the feature is supposed to be, but definitely something that I would consider using. If I were going to do a game that had dialogue trees with NPCs. Um, and I use the term trees lightly because I'm actually going to do this with arrays. I think that if you were going to actually build this into like a functional game mechanic, you would want to have a storage mechanism for these strings of dialogue to be a little bit more involved, maybe struct or JSON or something. I'm not sure, but so basically, the main components that are set up are these dialogue managers, which are just overlap actors, and you've got a little radius control, so you can expand the range at which dialogue is initiated. So you see, I've got one small one and one kind of large one, and then the regular top-down player controller and player character. And this is just an NPC blueprint, but it's like has no functionality. I just put it in there so that you can see that there would be a character standing there. And then one of the crucial pieces that didn't seem obvious when I first started was to build an interface. And interfaces are basically like a contract between classes. You can have an object that implements an interface, and when it implements the interface, it's expected to overload named events based on what you define. So this looks just like a blueprint, except for all you can do is declare that there are these methods and whether or not the methods have inputs and outputs, and that's it. And so the actual UMG component, and this is the thing that displays dialogue, actually demands that it have a delegate set. And that delegate is an actor that needs to implement the interface. And so you're going to end up doing a little bit of validation whenever an event occurs to make sure that delegate does in fact implement the interface that we're interested in, which is the dialogue delegate interface. Yeah, so, and then in the dialogue manager, we've got some dialogue, we've got an index that we keep track of to find out which page of text we're looking at. We have a reference to the player and the reference to the dialogue widget itself. And the reason we have the player reference is because I didn't want to hunt down and edit the player character blueprint. I just wanted all of it to be self-contained. So I actually spawn the widget right inside of the same blueprint that is that dialogue manager. So each instance of the dialogue manager could put up its own frame wherever it wants, which might be interesting if you're trying to do like positional dialogue boxes where you've got where how the player is oriented, the NPC or the thing that's putting the dialogue on screen could be in a different location. You could actually get that point, convert it to screen coordinates, and display that wherever you want, and have a completely separate object for it, and not worry about having any of it interfere with any of the other items that you've got on the screen. So yeah, let me just play real quick. Walk you through this. You walk up to the guy and he says, "Hey there," and then I just threw some funny text in there, and oh, he wants to talk about the FSM. Oh wow, so oh, okay. And the way that you get this wrapping text, I didn't know this at first, but you have to use the text box multi-line, which is actually not one of the main ones. So you actually have to drill down into the input category and grab it from here. Didn't see any options for a way to turn the regular text box into a multi-line text box. Much to my chagrin, I had already implemented the thing with just a regular text box in it. So yeah. And then the other one that I've got over here, I made it smaller so that you have to actually walk right up to it to initiate the dialog. Yeah. Oh, and then one more thing. So I made it so that it's a little bit smart. When you send in the text that you want to have it update, you also send in the text for the back button and the next buttons. And if that text isn't set for the back button, it hides it. And when you get to the end of the list, it automatically shows you the close item. And that could be, you could put up 2 different buttons, accept or decline if it's a quest or whatever.